3 flirting tips for guys that actually work. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And when you're done with this video, you're going to come out of this being able to flirt with any girl at any time, in any scenario, and make it work without looking creepy and shit. You guys ready? I don't think you're ready. Alright, let's get started. So essentially, the misconception that most guys have about flirting with women is that you're kind of like throwing little baits to see if you could get a reaction out of her, to see if everything's working, to see if you're doing the right thing. Okay, so when we flirt, we aren't really doing it from like the perspective of free-flowing, almost like doing creative art. Rather, we're more doing it rigidly, kind of like having every step very rigid and very predictable. Okay, and so the woman will see that and will feel that there's a lack of free-flowing between you and her, and as a result, it's not going to feel natural. The reason why it doesn't feel natural is because it is. Women, when they interact with you, the way that women become attracted to you, the way that women communicate with you is not through the words, not through logic, it's through emotion. But most guys operate using their logic. Most guys operate using logical conclusions. And as a result, they never really tap into the way women speak, their language, which is emotions. Alright, so this is how we want to be able to flirt with them. We want to be able to use emotions, but you cannot use emotions if you don't have them. If you're consistently thinking of how to approach her or how to make her laugh, you're going to be using your emotion of nervousness, and her being relaxed, her being a woman who's always getting attention, so there's no sense of urgency, no sense of nervousness. Those signals are not going to collide, are not going to kind of like mesh together and work together. So as a result, you got to learn to relax, learn to take a step back and feel good when you're interacting with a woman. And once you learn to feel good, suddenly you'll be able to flirt with her and actually vibe and create your own little world between you and the girl. Alright, so we're not even getting started. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is the concept of gaming yourself. The concept of being your own source of positive emotions. As I said earlier, sometimes when we flirt, we kind of misconstrue the mentality of making her react as opposed to making yourself react. The reason why you want to game yourself rather than gaming her, because gaming yourself focuses on making yourself feel good. Gaming yourself focuses your attention on having fun. Rather than focusing on making her fun, giving her a good time, you're focusing on having yourself a good time. So as a result, when you interact with a woman, there's no way you can lose, because even though if she says no to you, you're so preoccupied to making yourself feel good, you're so preoccupied on being self-amused that you essentially become a party, and you just tell her, hey look, I could give you an invitation to the party. Welcome yourself to the party, but if you don't want to, we're fine with that. That's why children are so beloved, because when children play around, they don't need you to play with them in order for them to have fun. They want you to play around with them, but they don't need you to play around with them, because they still have the power of their imagination. They could go into their own world and create their own little realities. So when you see a woman and you're approaching her and you're trying to flirt with her, coming from the mentality of wanting an outcome causes you to kind of like become more rigid. And so like I said earlier, you just one vibe with the girl. So when you become self-amused, when you become someone who's gaming themselves, suddenly you say a joke, not because you want her to laugh, but because it's funny to you. Suddenly when you say the joke and you laugh at the joke, you won't be peeking one eye out to see if she's laughing. Suddenly everything that you do will not be predicated because she likes it, but because you like it and you want her to join in the fun. So you just say to her, for example, someone who's self-amused or someone who's feeling good, they just say, oh, come here girl, I feel so good today, give me a fucking hug. And you'll be able to hug her. Alright? Now understand this, is that the reason why you'll be able to get away with a lot of things is because you're feeling that emotion, that good feeling, and you're acting upon it. By acting upon it, you're giving away positive emotions. People gravitate towards people who are sources of positive emotions. Want to know why? Because they themselves are not their own source of positive emotions. Most people rely on other people's reactions in order to feel good. Women, when they see a guy, they try to get his attention in order for his attention to make her feel good and raise her self-esteem. So in reality, a lot of people never learn to cultivate, do not fall. A lot of people never learn to cultivate a sense of having a personal ecosystem of positive emotions that doesn't require any outside influence in order to sustain it, because you become your own sustainable source of positive emotions. So when you approach a woman, there's nothing that she can take away from you, because you don't use her in order to feel good. You use yourself. So you act from your own fruitions. Whatever you do, you act upon your values. And if she says something that you don't agree with, you won't become afraid to disagree with her, because you don't want to lose the interactions. You won't care, because your happiness derives from yourself, not from her reactions. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm just talking right now, hoping that what I'm saying is logical. Only logical because you're not a woman. But nevertheless, having positive emotions mixed in with your actions without having any kind of outcome in mind will enable you to say things and get away with it. You'll be able to say, yo girl, give me your number, girl. So you see how you say that? I say that just because I say it because it's fun to me. Like, yeah, I wanted to say that. I wanted to ask her number like that. How I wanted to say it, like, yo girl, give me a number. You know, and what I'm doing is making myself feel good. I'm not saying like, yo girl, give me a number, and like hoping that her reaction raises my self-esteem. No, I'm like, yo, I feel good right now. Yeah, give me a number, girl. Oh, you don't want to give it to me? Alright, that's cool, that's cool. Got a broken heart. Give me a number. So can you see how you act? You kind of like become an energy that's full of positive emotions. Alright, and that's something that not a lot of guys have, and it's something that not a lot of girls experience with guys, because guys are so reactive towards them. Okay, so that's something that's very unique. The second concept is having natural qualifiers. Natural qualifiers are, okay, essentially when you qualify someone, the purpose of qualifications, for those who don't know, qualification is when, rather than acting like the woman is hot and you like her, qualifying someone is showing her that she worked for your approval. Alright, so it's kind of like seeing a girl, when a girl knows that you like her and that she's got you, suddenly you don't become a challenge, and so that loses attraction. But when you qualify a girl, you just say like, oh man, like you know what, like in the beginning, I didn't know you looked like a bitch in the beginning, but to be honest, you're a pretty cool person, yo. That's pretty dope. Or when or another qualifier is, oh, I really like the fact that you like to read books. I love fucking books. I love books. Girls who read books are my favorite kind of girls, yo. That's pretty dope. You see, so it's kind of like you compliment her on something that she's worked for. So qualifying is essentially showing her that she has won your approval, that she didn't just get it because she's good looking, but because she earned it. So the way to do, a lot of people have different routines. Like I said, like what I just said, like those are different routines, like kind of like prescripted qualifiers. But the best qualifiers are natural qualifiers. Let me show you an example. I love reading. I love a girl who loves to read. I love meditating. I love a girl who likes to meditate. So when I ask a girl, hey, do you meditate? And she says, no, I don't meditate. I could promise you that even if I try to hide the fact that I don't like the fact that she doesn't meditate, she's gonna feel that, oh damn, I don't think that was the right answer. You know, so the reason why, or if I ask her, do you like to read books? She just says, no, I don't like to read books. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so even if I may try to hide it, my sub-communication will communicate this approval, and she'll feel that. So if she had the mentality, if she was thinking that, oh, I like him, I mean, he likes me, he really won me over, without me saying a word, she's gonna feel uncertainty. Her reality is gonna be a little bit distorted, because most guys don't ever do that. Most guys are always trying to give her the approval. So when you have a natural qualifier, those are certain standards that you want a girl to have. Not necessary, but you know what? It would be pretty dope if you could actually, you know, have an intellectual conversation with me. And, you know, please. So what I mean by that is, because you have a natural qualifier, your reactions are genuine. And when your reactions are genuine and they're mixed in with disapproval through your sub-communication, remember, women get to know you through your sub-communication, not through the words you say, because your sub-communication communicates how you feel, communicate your inner state. So by communicating through your sub-communication, as a result of your natural reaction to expecting, I hope that she fits the standard of the type of girl that you want, she's going to feel some loss, so she's going to want to build it up again through investing in the conversation. Does that make sense? So it's essentially about you having passions, and when you have that passion, you want to share it with someone else, and above all, you want someone who you love to share it with. So you kind of like want her to join the party, and you want to see if she could join the party or not. So that's why you gotta have passions. Stop being someone who goes for like the new trends. When somebody likes doing this, I'm gonna start doing that. No, develop what you like, find out what you love, and do it often, and try to get girls to join in the fun. And you use that as leverage, as a way to qualify them, because we all have something that we love. So if you love to play video games, ask a girl, do you like to play video games? And if she says no, she doesn't like playing video games, and you want her to say yeah, do not be afraid to react negatively. Do not be afraid. That's natural. You're naturally expressing yourself. So you're just saying, you know what? You don't like playing games? Oh man, damn, I love girls to play video games, man. It's essentially having your own standards. And so you'll be sucking her into your own reality. And remember, if you add that with empathy, and you add that with your ability to become your own source of positive emotions, she'll want to be part of that party because you are a source of positive emotions. So she's going to want to what? Add on to the conversation, try to invest, try to impress you, because she's sensed a sense of loss. All right, that's how you naturally qualify a girl. Okay, so the last one, essentially, I did not remember this one. You saw how I was trying to be slick, trying to act like I remember, right? It's having the mentality of what you're gonna do if I do this. All right, so essentially is you want to be the type of guy that fails more than succeeds more. For example, you want to try to think more of fucking up the set, fucking up the conversation, fucking up the date, not trying to break the law. That is not what I'm saying. Okay, whoever you are, you know who I'm talking to. Don't be a freak. You know what I'm talking about. Don't break the law with this. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Essentially, is you want to take it to see where your boundaries are. So rather than thinking, I hope she doesn't reject me, say, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do if I kiss her? What's she gonna do if I do this? What's she gonna do if I do that? So rather than trying to preserve the conversation, preserve the comfort level, try and find ways to fuck with it. So kind of like when you talk to a girl, you kind of like have this what you can do mentality, like, yeah, what you gonna do if I say this? So one of the things I like to do is when I'm talking to a girl, I'll intentionally have my shoe and just have one of my foot step on her feet. Just like I'm talking to you, like it's like, yeah, She's like, what? What, girl? And you just kind of like have to like, what are you gonna do? You want me to fight, girl? Huh? You want to fight me? Huh? You want to fight? Huh? And you mix that up with the mentality of being your own source of positive emotion. So you're not really looking for a reaction, but you're asking her to join into the fun. You're flirting with her, you know, or you just talk, or you'll talk to her. And you won't say anything after that. She'll be like, yeah, I love to party. I like to go on bike rides. You don't say nothing. What you gonna do now? If I don't say nothing, like that's what you're thinking. What are you gonna do if I don't say nothing? Like, yeah, I'm fucking with you, girl. You know, or for example, like she'll be walking with you, okay, walking hand in hand. You walking hand in hand, and you just move to the side. People are walking the other side, and you just move to the side just to fuck with her, so she can run into people. Yeah, you just do it casually, just casually. You see the mentality? The mentality is kind of like you being a little bully. What you gonna do if I do this? What you gonna do if I do that? So you kind of like always testing the boundaries. So you mix that up with being your own source of positive emotions. You mix it up with natural qualifiers, and then you mix it up with having the mentality of what you're gonna do if I do this, if I do that. That will become someone who is invincible in their minds, because first of all, you cannot be defeated because you don't perceive rejection as a reflection of who you are. You just see rejection as them not liking the idea of being with you. Does that make sense? So those are three things that you can do. So one, become your own source of positive emotions. When you flirt with her, game yourself, work on gaming yourself, work on making yourself laugh, rather than just focusing on making her laugh. So work on making yourself laugh. Find ways to make yourself laugh. Find ways to enjoy the fun, but just make sure you do it with empathy and with a lot of care and love. I'm not even kidding, because when you do that, everything comes out good. I don't know how. Okay. The second one is natural qualifiers. Use natural qualifiers. Have your own standards. Finding things that you love, and ask girls if she likes doing those certain things, and actually evaluate. Because the more genuine your reaction is, if you genuinely feel bad that she doesn't like to read books, she's gonna feel that, and you want that, because that's gonna make her wanna add to the conversation and add value, make herself perceive as someone who has high value. And the last one is have the what you're gonna do type of mentality, which will enable you to be a challenge, which will enable you to be that guy who has that extra edge and stand out from most of the guys that she casually meets. So this is Alex from myforattraction.org. These are 3 tips that any guy can use that will actually work. Okay, so thank you, have a good day.